Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be another Shopping Our Stash collab. This video is all about shopping my stash. I'm doing this in collaboration with my friends Elisabeth and Mercedes. I will have their channels linked down below so that you could check them out if you're not following them or subscribe to them already. We choose a color each month and we shop our stash to pull out every single one of those colors we can find to remind us of what we have and to remind us that we don't need any more than what we have and that we're good. I'm sure the thumbnail has already clued you in, and if not, maybe my eye look has, but today we are doing forest green. Last year for March we did Kelly green, which was a very like grassy green, true green, Crayola green, and this year we're doing a deeper shade of green, forest green. I like forest green. When I think of the color forest green, I think of a deeper green with just a hint of blue in it. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of this shade on my eyes, and although I am wearing it today, it basically took me all day to get used to wearing it. It is now around 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm finally just looking at it and thinking, that's not completely weird, because all morning long I just thought, ooh boy, that's a little too much. And of course, the camera always is kind to me. It never looks quite as dramatic on camera as it does in real life, but in real life, this looks really dramatic, especially since I'm probably not leaving the house for any reason today, and that you guys are the only ones that are gonna see this eye look, and I'm just gonna wash it off tonight. So, the good news is that I don't have a huge amount of forest green. I have a lot, but not the worst case scenario. I guess after doing my video shopping my stash for black eyeshadows, nothing is that bad, because that is like a worst case scenario of having over 100 black eyeshadows. So nothing is bad compared to that, but I have a lot, more than I need. I have more than I need of everything. So let's see and swatch and tally up what I have. I'm gonna start with some singles. I have two singles in my stash that I think are both in the forest green category. The first one is this Ulta eyeshadow. It's called Verdigris. 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 And this is what it looks like right here. There is a swatch of it right there. I don't know. I guess it's, yeah, I guess it's forest green. I don't know. There is a swatch of it right there. This next single is from NYX. It's called Exotic Green. Looks like this right here. And there it is right there. The last single I have is a depotted single in this magnetic palette right here. I believe it's a Makeup Geek eyeshadow. Yes, it's called Houdini, and it's a foiled eyeshadow. This definitely has a little bit more blue to it than the other two. Oh. When I swatch these shadows, it feels really nice. Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There it is right there. I'm kind of wishing I had this all over my eyes right now. Next, I have this little palette from NYX. It's the Love in Paris palette. Mon Chéri. These individual shadows do not have names, but I'm swatching the one right in the center. This feels like a very blackened green. Just dark. There it is right there. I also have another little palette. This is the Meet Matte palette. It's another small 9-pan palette. And I was going to swatch this matte one down here called Matte Chilling. It's a unique shade. I don't really know what family it falls under. It's not really a forest green, but I think it's still an honorary member of the fam. Oh, see, it looks really blue here. Oh gosh, that's really pretty. I like that eyeshadow. Maybe for a lower lash line color. I don't know. It's not really forest green. Okay, I think these two are gonna be cousins. This is an Estee Lauder quad that I got as a gift with purchase. And I'm gonna swatch this shadow right there. What would you call that color? I don't know what to call it. It's not really a forest green. Oh my gosh. Those two look so much alike. Look at that. That's Estee Lauder and that's the Balm. They're brothers. Okay, I've gotten sidetracked. Let's try to get back on to forest green because I think it's starting to look like a very interesting forest. The next palette I have is the NYX Love in Florence palette. I'm gonna swatch this shadow right here. There it is right there. Definitely the lightest out of everything so far. This is an oldie. This is a Tarte palette. It's called the Quintessentially Travel Chic palette. 5-in-1 eyeshadow palette. 5-in-1. Huh. These are without a doubt some of the biggest pans I have ever seen in an eyeshadow palette in my life. I cannot believe they sold pans this big. It's huge. I'm going to swatch this one right here, especially since 3 of the pans are just a brown eyeshadow. The bigger question is, why did I buy this palette? It was on Whole Look, that's why. It was a bad purchase. 3 gigantic pans of brown, a green, and a shimmery vanilla shade that I probably have 100 times over in my collection. Kind of a boneheaded move. I know you're thinking it, I'll just say it. It was boneheaded. There it is right there. That's a nice swatch. The eyeshadow I'm wearing on my eyes today comes from this palette right here, of course. This is my Natasha Denona Green Brown palette. It looks like this. I have all of the greens on my eyes today. I went a little crazy. I started out with this in my outer corner, and then I realized that this is like a duochrome, and I never noticed that before. It's like a brown green. So then I went in with this one right here, a little bit of this, a little bit of this one right here, and then I went back in with this one again. So the color you mostly see on my eyes is this one down here. It is called Emerald Green. So I'll go ahead and swatch that one. And I will go ahead and swatch the one above it, which is Bottle Green. Bottle Green might be more of a forest green. Emerald Green. Bottle Green's closer. Okay, there is Emerald Green and there is Bottled Green. Bottled Green is the winner out of the two. I have my Urban Decay Vice Reloaded palette, and I am going to swatch the shade called Shallow. No? Misdemeanor. I am going to swatch the shade called Misdemeanor. That's this one right here. There it is right up there. That is so pretty. I like that one. This is my Sephora Ombre Obsessions palette. I bought it off of clearance. I thought it was like the coolest palette ever. I do not use it nearly enough. It's not the most practical palette in the end, but I am going to put my finger right in the middle of this green pan right here, where I think we have the most of forest green present. And it swatched beautifully. There it is right there. That is a gorgeous swatch. That palette is so hit or miss for me. My old Smashbox palette, I love this. This is the Art Love Color. Yes, Masterclass palette. And I am going to swatch Pacific, which is this one down here. It's got a little bit more blue to it. There it is right down there. Well, this is embarrassing. I cannot remember what this palette is called. I'll insert it down below or something because it's escaping me. On the back, it just says Beauty with an Edge eyeshadow palette. I don't think that's what the name of this palette is though. Heavy Metals? Is this the Heavy Metals eyeshadow palette? I think it is. I'm going to swatch this shade right, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I am going to swatch this shade right here called Mullet. That's kind of like my definition of forest green right there. There it is right there. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Next, we'll do my Fortune Favors the Brave palette from Revolution, Makeup Revolution. This is what it looks like right here. I am going to swatch the matte one all the way on the end down there. And that matte one is called Smoothie. It's pretty dark, but it's also not very pigmented, so there it is right there. Okay, I have a couple of small little palettes. This is a trio from Mary Kay. It's the Mary Kay at Play palette, and I am going to swatch this one right here. I don't know if it has a name. I'm sure it does. It's just not written down. But this is what the little trio looks like right there. That's very pretty. That's a pretty color. A little bit bluish, maybe. This is a Nika K quad. I received this from Ipsy. I don't know if I've ever used it on my eyes. It looks brand new. I'm going to swatch this one up here, obviously. All right, that's it right there. Doesn't look like very much. The product feels like it's kind of sticking to my finger and not transferring onto my hand very well. Next, let's talk about my Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I am going to swatch the shade called Good Is Gone, which is on the end right there. I think it's time to switch to another part of my arm. Let's do right here. Very dark and olivey. This is my BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I am going to swatch Sagittarius right up here. Oh my gosh. Their baked shadows are just stunning. Look at that. Another big square palette is from Juvia's Place. This is the Magic. When I was looking at this shadow earlier and swatching it, it looked almost black, but I was in the office and the lighting in the office is really bad. This is the shade Aja, A-J-A, right here. Yeah, it still looks almost black. Let's see how it looks when I swatch it out. It still looks black, right? Yeah, that just looks black to me. That's kind of a disappointing shade, to be honest. It looks so much prettier in the pan than it swatches. It just looks black. Okay, there is a forest green in both of these guys. In my Prism palette from ABH, I am going to swatch Throne. That's this one down here. It's really a duochrome, isn't it? There it is right there. And in Subculture, I am going to go ahead and swatch Untamed, this one right there. Going to lightly swatch it. Very, very lightly. There it is right there. This is my Mally City Chick I Love Color palette. Really haven't used this at all yet. I'm going to swatch this green right here. Next, I have another BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Dark Rose palette. I've had this forever. Forever. These shadows do not have names. I'm going to swatch this one right here. Ooh, that's faint. Not a lot of pigment for that one. I have another Juvia's Place palette. This is the Saharan, the first Saharan, not the second. And I am going to swatch this shade up here. I think it's called Kia. There it is right there. Ooh, that's kind of duochrome too, isn't it? I have a lot of forest green duochromes, kind of like blue brown or Insomnia from Makeup Geek, blue brown from MAC. I went on quite a shopping spree years ago for that shade and bought it many times over. And so I have a lot of these kind of shades that look forest green on one angle and kind of brown on the other. And even now today, I would rather wear a duochrome like that over a true forest green shade, but I probably bought too many. This is my Urban Decay Smoked palette. I'm going to swatch the shade called Loaded, which is this one right here. It's another dark one. Looks almost black. This next palette, I was really on the fence about whether or not to include it. I am talking about my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collab, and the shade I am on the fence about is this one down here, but I am going to go ahead and swatch it anyways. It's a little bit more silvery than most of the greens I've been swatching in this video, but I think it still falls under the forest green category. Yeah, it definitely fits. I'm glad I swatched it. It is definitely a forest green. Okay, there are only 2 more palettes to talk about. Next, we are going to talk about my Lorac Mega Pro 2. And ironically, the shade I'm choosing is called Forest. It's this matte up here. You know I had to have a shade with the name Forest in it somewhere, right? Oh my gosh, that feels like unbelievably smooth. There, oh, just a little baby swatch. There it is right there. And finally, the last palette I'm going to swatch is, of course, my e.l.f. 100 Pan palette. I feel like I have 2 in here. This one and, well, really any of these 3, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these 2 right there because I think they are the most foresty green out of the bunch. I don't know why I have both of them in one palette. I guess the top one is a little bit lighter than the bottom one. I guess they look identical, but They are a little bit different. There's the darker, no, there's the lighter of the two. There's the darker of the two. They do swatch differently, don't they? All right, let's count them up. I think I'm going to take this one out of the tally since it came from the Natasha Denona palette and it's a little bit lighter than the rest, but I'll count. I should probably take out Houdini. As gorgeous as that shadow is, that's really not a forest green. Oh, but it is gorgeous. But I'll count the rest of them except for those two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, if I take out those two shadows, this light green and Houdini, I have 28 forest green eyeshadows. And I know I have more of these duochrome shades. I just didn't pull them for this video because I knew they were duochrome, and I'm hoping that we could do duochrome in a separate video at a later date. Maybe I'll take that one out too. So 27 forest green eyeshadows, and the truth is I haven't been feeling the color forest green in a long time. Even today wearing it, I'm not feeling it. I think the look turned out okay, but I'm not feeling it. It's all right. That's it. 27 forest green eyeshadows. That's enough, I'd say. I don't think I need to buy any new eyeshadow that includes a forest green. I'm good. I don't think I'll be missing out if I pass on a new release that has that shade in it. I think I can be quite satisfied with what I already have. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I do hope you check out Mercedes and Elisabeth and see how many forest green eyeshadows each of them have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.